there was a post on my good old Grant County, my good old hometown county terrorists page, the Grant County Sheriffs. Okay? And it was so par for the course. Now, I often leave comments for the lovely folks, the lovely criminals at the Grant County Sheriff's Office. But it said a 35-year-old Florida man is awaiting sentencing after pleading guilty to the sexual assault of a child. Okay, now, I want you to listen to the words being used. Plea agreement. Cardenas was originally charged with 1 count of first-degree rape of a child and 1 count of first-degree child molestation. A plea agreement means Cardenas was convicted of the crimes. In reaching a plea agreement, prosecutors recognized the seriousness of the crimes. They also, listen to this, they also recognized if the case went to trial that the child victim would have to take the witness stand and discuss the traumatizing and embarrassing events of her victimization. Okay? So they make a plea deal so that the victim doesn't have to testify. Now, I made this comment. It applies to all your counties. Remember, each case Grant County prosecutes as a fraud based on invented facts and hidden information. They will never say what really happens. That's why they love child sex-related cases or minors. Usually they're not even children. This is a profit system and why they bully inmates into plea deals to avoid charges they know are bogus and create a narrative for the ignorant to create an illusion of security. Of course, I got mocked by all the Grant County gooder boys accusing me of being a pedo and all this stuff, right? I'm a crackhead. This is what happens if you actually have knowledge, common sense, critical thinking skills, and know the law. Now let's go back to this point and why I wanted to bring this up. I don't know this person, but I do know people in Grant County that have been charged and sitting in jail for years without trial on BS charges that are related to sexual stuff. And literally sitting for years without trial. Okay? Again, let's come back to what the Constitution says. What was their reasoning for because the people are on here like, oh, string them up, oh, child rapist. No one even cares that this person wasn't even convicted of rape, right? Faces a sentence of 78 months to life in a state prison, followed by, and so everybody, including most of the people I know, are like, oh, child molesters, they should get everything coming to them. And what the reason I wanted to do a spot on this, and I've mentioned this before and I catch a lot of flack for it, is to stop and think. Almost every sexual case you hear about, have you ever noticed you're never given facts? The government loves, they're almost always regarding minors. That's what they prosecute. Because, oh, we're not going to tell you anything to protect the victim. This defies the whole concept of a justice system. The criminals at the Grant County Sheriff who have no problem beating or murdering or robbing people, if it suits them, let's actually look at what the Constitution says. We don't even have to get into the double jeopardy here. Let's go straight to the 6th Amendment. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial. How does that sit with the people that are bullied into plea deals? It doesn't say they can enjoy the right. They shall enjoy that right to a speedy and public. That means you get to know the facts. There should be no conviction. There can be no legal conviction if the facts are not presented by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have previously been ascertained by law and be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted, to be confronted with the witnesses against him and to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor. To be confronted with the witnesses against them. Let's go back to what the Grant County Sheriff idiot said. If this case went to trial, okay, let's contrast the two of these just so you understand. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial. They recognize that if the case went to trial, the child victim would have to take the stand and discuss the traumatizing and embarrassing events of her victimization. U.S. Constitution. To be confronted with the witnesses against him. It doesn't matter if it's a child or if they're under an arbitrary age line invented by the government. You get to be confronted by the witnesses. So what do? They invent larger charges, and many of them to say that you will be put away forever and ever, but if you plea out, we will give you a little bit less of suffering. That is a crime. That is a blatant violation of the U.S. Constitution. It's a blatant violation of human rights, and it's a blatant violation of all forms of due process. So who are the terrorists? Grant County Sheriff. And every sheriff's office, every state prosecutor, every county prosecutor, every federal prosecutor, you have to understand when you see these, and sometimes it's people, I can't believe he did that. This is the problem. All they have to do, any one of you watching this right now, particularly if you're a man, all they have to do is invent a minor, an underage, a child sexual crime against you. You don't even have had to do anything. You don't get to have them witness against you. Somebody can just invent something and say someone did something, Uncle Tom did this, right? When we had a justice system, if Uncle Tom did something inappropriate, Dad would deal with it. These cases almost never involve rape. A lot of times nothing even happened. Occasionally something happened. And back in the old days, it would involve probably Dad punching Uncle Tom in the nose and sending him packing, because it wasn't that huge of an issue. Everything is blown up to make you a victim today, so that by living in fear, you give up your freedoms, your Constitution, and your humanity for the sake of feeling safe. That is not freedom. That is not due process. That is not protecting children. You cannot say someone was convicted of rape when they weren't convicted of rape. You cannot say someone's a rapist when they weren't even charged with rape, as we talked about many times on this channel. And you cannot say that someone is a rapist when they were never even given the basic fundamentals of due process demanded not only by human rights, but by the highest law of the land, saying that they have to have a trial and their accusers have to face them in court. It doesn't matter if their accusers are under the age of 18. It's irrelevant. And if a trial is not given due process, if a criminal case is not given due process, the conviction is illegal and it's void. And furthermore, under the Fifth Amendment, you can't even try them again, because no person shall be put twice in jeopardy for the same offense. So many people sitting in prison, like Rick Gerber, who was a defender of the Bundys and many other people, because they wanted to railroad him and they couldn't convict, so they just kept trying him over and over again in double, triple jeopardy for the same crimes until they finally convicted him. And if you're stupid enough to think, oh, he was a rapist, I read the news article. Have you noticed the news articles never say anything? If you're dumb enough to believe this propaganda coming literally from the hands of police and prosecutors who are fabricating stories every single day, sending them to the news to be repeated on their networks, so that you will believe that you need these criminals to protect you from rapists and murderers and speeders and people who run from cops and stealers and all this stuff, when they are the ones robbing you blind and violating your rights. If you're that ignorant, then may your chains rest lightly upon you, but not on me. Thank you.